He was the kind of man no one noticed. Quiet, polite. The perfect neighbor, the kind of person you wave to without ever learning his name, the kind of person who blends into a crowd so naturally you forget he's there at all. He mowed his lawn on Saturday mornings. He carried groceries for elderly neighbors. He worked a steady job, paid his bills on time, smiled politely, and never raised his voice. No one suspected that behind the closed door of his silent house, something unthinkable was happening. It started with a small, almost invisible shift. One morning, he didn't show up for work. His boss called, but there was no answer. His coworkers shrugged it off. Maybe he was sick, maybe he overslept. He was reliable, but everyone slips now and then. Then his children didn't show up for school. Not one of them. No call from home, no note, no explanation. The school phone rang and rang. Still nothing. The mailman noticed envelopes piling up at the door. The newspaper delivery boy saw yesterday's paper still sitting untouched. A neighbor noticed the lights inside the house stayed on through the night. And the next night, and the one after that, the silence around the house grew louder each day until it became impossible to ignore. Police finally arrived for a welfare check. They knocked, no response. They tried the windows, nothing. The quiet was unsettling, not peaceful, not sleepy, but heavy, as if the house itself was holding its breath. They forced the door open. Inside, the air felt wrong, too still, too cold, too clean. They walked slowly through rooms that looked untouched, frozen in time. No overturned furniture, no obvious struggle, no sign of chaos. It was almost serene. And then they found them. His entire family gone. Each member laid out carefully, almost lovingly, as if someone wanted them to appear peaceful. Pillows under their heads, blankets smoothed over their bodies, their hands placed gently on their chests. It didn't look like rage, or panic, or impulse. It looked like preparation. It looked like ritual. It looked like someone staging a final family portrait before erasing the family entirely. And the man who did it, he simply walked out the front door, locked it behind him, and vanished. There were no fingerprints, no signs of forced entry, no murder weapon, no witnesses, nothing missing, nothing stolen. The police stood in a spotless crime scene crafted by someone who knew exactly what he was doing, someone who didn't run, didn't hide, didn't panic. He just left. For months, investigators searched. Nothing. Not a footprint, not a lead, not a trace of who he became after shedding his old life like a discarded skin. It was as if he stepped into the air and dissolved. But he didn't. He crafted a new identity instead. In a town hundreds of miles away, a quiet man with a different name moved into a modest apartment. He found a job that paid just enough. He joined a local church. He volunteered sometimes. He waved to neighbors he never intended to know well. He remarried. He built another life, another family, another version of himself. For 18 years, the world believed he was either dead or gone forever. But he was living comfortably behind a new name, a new history, a new beginning carved out of unthinkable violence. He lived without guilt, without remorse, without fear, because he never expected to be found. Then one day, everything changed because of a clay bust. A forensic sculptor approached the cold case and recreated his face based on age progression and bone structure. It aired on national television during a true crime segment. Millions watched the segment. Most forgot it immediately. But one person didn't. A neighbor from his new life, a woman who lived 2 houses away, froze when she saw the screen. She recognized the jawline, the eyes, the faint smirk that always seemed slightly out of place. She recognized the man who shoveled her driveway last winter. She recognized the ghost who lived next door. She made the call. When police arrived at his home, he wasn't running. He wasn't packing. He wasn't even surprised. He was just sitting calmly in a wooden chair, hands folded in his lap as if he'd been waiting for them to arrive. When they asked for his name, he gave the fake one first. Then, almost casually, he said his real name for the first time in nearly 2 decades. It rolled off his tongue like something familiar, something he had rehearsed for this exact moment. He didn't ask why they were there. He didn't deny anything. He didn't resist. He simply stood up and surrendered. In interrogation, detectives asked him why he killed his family. What pushed him to commit something so horrific? What he felt while doing it? He showed no emotion. No guilt. No regret. He said he needed a fresh start. A new life. A clean slate. And my family, he said in a voice that sent chills down the room, didn't fit into the future I wanted. He spoke as though he were explaining why he changed jobs. As though what he did was merely a difficult decision, not a massacre. Detectives walked out of the room sickened. Prosecutors prepared for trial with a fury none of them had felt before. The courtroom was packed every day. People traveled from out of state to witness it. Everyone wanted to see the man who lived a double life, murderer and perfect neighbor. He sat motionless through the entire trial. Not even a flinch when the verdict was read. Guilty. On every count. He was sentenced to life in prison, where he remains expressionless to this day. Some monsters hide in abandoned buildings. Some stalk the shadows of dark alleys. Some wear masks. Some leave warnings. But the most chilling kind, the most dangerous kind, are the ones who blend into everyday life. The ones who shovel your walkway, wave good morning, hold the elevator for you, smile politely in the grocery store. He was that kind of monster. A man who murdered his entire family, locked the door behind him, and lived peacefully among strangers for nearly 20 years. He almost got away with it. Almost.